at least. The higher speed will definitely change strategies.
Yeah, we can already see the stacks pretty much raising faster than what it was at 5 minutes into a level 5 match, so there's going to be no freebies here. You got to be on point with your chains, and when you're topped off, you better have the panels in the right places or you could be caught off guard and take a loss.
Orrin has been having his stack pushed a little high, but Vyce gets topped off for a second, but he's able to bring it down. And Vyce getting a pretty good chain sent over, and that does it.
Yeah, again, just what we've mentioned before, it seems like the person who can just get that bigger chain at the beginning will usually take this match. So if Vyce is on point with his chains, which so far he is right now, this should be a pretty good sign for him as this match progresses.
Orrin's sending a ×4, but maybe hoping to make up for lost ground. Maybe it's just me, but it looks like Orrin's cursor speed might have gone up just a little bit. But he gets topped off here almost.
I can definitely see that, especially coming from personal experience too. Generally when you play like a higher tier opponent, and on a higher level at that too, it sometimes just makes you play it a little bit better, funny enough. Like, some people might crumble under the pressure, some people might just feel it and go with it, and I think that's kind of what Scott's doing right now. Picking up the speed, doing a little bit more pressure, but Vyce is just finding those chains and able to take out Scott again.
He gets a really good chain there that tops off Orrin.
So far, 2 rounds in a row, Vyce gets really good amount of pressure and takes the match almost immediately there with no surprise.
And I will say that that's one of the main reasons that I usually get beat by Vyce, is he gets that chain that catches me off guard.
Survivability is probably one of the hardest things to master when you get up on these higher levels. Especially if people know how to layer their pressure appropriately on you. It's just a pain when you're topped off.
And especially at speed 10, where your health is only 1. So all it takes is just 1 split frame or 1 split second, and that can mean the difference between victory and defeat. Orrin missing a lot of chains. Kind of wondering why he let those go.
Ooh, nice lag chain set up by Scott there. Had that 5 combo at the end of the 3 chain there, but now Vyce gonna basically match that with just chain 1 segment longer there, even with the 5 combo at the end. Vyce looking for that chain. I think wanted to get the yellows, maybe did that swap a little bit backwards there at the beginning. So going to drop it off. But look at this, all this time to set up another chain here. And the small pressure is just going to be tacked on to Scott here. He's got to be careful with that right pillar.
It's very high. It looks like he will be able to get it down, but he may have more garbage coming, I think. There it is. Doesn't quite top him off, though.
Yeah, Vyce's stabs are just a little bit better than Scott's right now. And Vyce is just like not only able to continue to clear the garbage, but sending the appropriate pressure back. And I think that's where maybe Scott's slacking just a little bit. Is he's able to clear the pressure as long as he's not immediately topped off, as we're seeing. But then it's just really hard for him to find like that appropriate chain follow-up. Because look, now Vyce has got another 5 chain coming.
Got a ×5, and that's going to really play a factor here. He does get it clear, but Vyce is going to have a lot of room to send a lot of pressure. If he can get a good chain. Looks like Orrin wasn't able to survive.
Yeah, those shock blocks and another combo garbage block at the very end. Once again, the pressure just a little bit too much for Scott. And Vyce looking to take this 4-0 right now.
I will start off by saying my prediction is that Vyce will win. He's definitely the favorite at the moment.
Especially with what he's shown us so far, he's been really on point. And I would say he's taking it to a whole nother level this game too, with the pressure already coming within 20 seconds. And Scott's got to be careful. He lost 14 health already there. He's going to be able to survive, but Vyce has got now a big garbage block he could potentially send back. And ooh, Scott got that stack down in just enough time. I didn't see what his health value was, but it had to have been pretty low.
It was very low. I think he was at like 8 health when he got clear.
Well, Scott's
ran out of time.
Something.
And that's that. Vyce wins at 4-0.
Vyce definitely, he was just on point with everything there in that last game. He kept Scott topped off from the beginning, and even with Scott, you know, surviving here and there, that's what the continuous pressure can do for you, especially when you're not pressured yourself. It's a lot easier to send a lot of harassment, and that's what Vyce did. Took advantage of it. Vyce will be 3-0 moving on. And Scott, he's going to be taking his first loss, but still looking pretty good at 2-1 in this tournament.